Hello, good people. Welcome to our show. Hello, bad people. Welcome to our show. Today we are going to discuss more about women entrepreneurs who can achieve great results. Guest, our speaker. Let me show a short video. Hello, Lisa. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, Anatoly. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, big pleasure. I want to learn more about that. I love women entrepreneurs. I cooperate with many of them. I know most of them are creative. I love it. It's not like to cooperate with men, but I don't divide women, men. For me, it doesn't matter. For me, it's more important to have skills. If you have skills, we can cooperate. But I found a big difference. Women can provide more accurate results and they can clean all errors and are so creative. I love it. Lisa, before we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, and anything that can help our listeners to learn more about you.
Yeah, I think any entrepreneur, male or female, or non-binary, a huge piece of it actually is courage too. You just have to, you're going to take risks, and you have to be able to be persistent and be bold and be courageous and go out there. And it can be scary, but it's worth it in the end if you're going after your dreams and setting a good example for those around you.
Connection. I don't know what happened, but
Yep, it froze. We're okay.
yeah, right now we're okay. Uh, can you tell about moms? I love my mom. My
Mhm.
wife is mom, and I know it's hard when you have kids, when you need to pay attention to them, to take them to school, to the doctor. I don't know, to many things, but you need to earn money as well. You need to go ahead. It's not like to think only about the family. It's more about how you can create your career. Can you tell what to do it? I mean, like for women who have kids, but they wanna build their.
Yeah. Uh, okay, good. We're not frozen. Yeah, actually, so I
Oh,
I started I
yeah,
started my
go ahead.
career in HR, and I was in high tech. I live in the Bay Area in California, and so I was in high tech and on a rapidly um, on a rapidly growing career path. And then when I did have my kids, things changed for my company. In fact, my boss, who was a VP of HR, was a woman, and she came in and said, "Lisa, it's just a shame your priorities have changed." And I was shocked. I said, "My priorities haven't changed. My family has always come first. I just now have to leave by 6 o'clock for my son's daycare." And so it really changed a lot about how I felt about the company. And so eventually I actually decided to stay home with the kids. I was lucky enough to be able to do that for a little bit. And that's what led me into being an entrepreneur. And part of that, part of the entrepreneur, I have a home office. So I was able to take my daughter to her soccer games and pick them up from school when needed. The remote piece is a huge advantage, but also I feel like one of the things that's been most important for my kids to see is that, I had an idea, it became a dream, and I'm going after it. And so, succeed or fail, my kids are going to see me trying to achieve that dream. And I feel like that's setting an example, regardless of what the outcome can be. So I feel like as a mom, that's the best thing I can do for them.
Awesome. Love it. Lisa, I love it. Because you can pay attention to your kid, daughter, and to handle your business. And can you tell about discipline, about consistency? Because I know it's important to be consistent. If you do anything, doesn't matter, man, woman, but you need to be consistent. But if you need to take your daughter to soccer, to school, you have no time to be consistent, or you can find a lot of excuses why you can't do it today. So any tips how you can create this discipline?
Sure. I live and die by my calendar. Everything is scheduled on my calendar. It's color coded. I'm a list person. And so what I do is I just block that time off on my calendar for when I have to pick her up from school, or if she has a soccer game I need to go see on a Thursday at 4 o'clock. I just block it on my calendar. And so people can't make meetings with me at that time. And it's a really easy way to manage our personal our personal responsibilities with our work responsibilities, is just have that calendar blocked and let people know that you're not available at that period of time. And people are many people, whether they're parents or not, are dealing with something, their personal life, right? Whether it's they need to go to the doctor or elder care or whatever it is. And so we all have something. And so I think just working together, and there's a time we can find that can be a work time, that doesn't have to be a personal time. So, but yeah, that's what I do. And I go to the gym every day as well. And I block that on my calendar. It's a meeting, right? Because my health, my mental and physical wellness is dependent on me going to the gym. And so I prioritize that. And I run this company better because I work out and because I take care of myself. So it's very, very important to put ourselves and our family, in priority over our job, right? That's my opinion, at least.
Awesome, impressive, love it. If you can find time for gym, for kids, for business, yeah, it's great. And Lisa, I wanna ask about patience. I know it takes time to achieve anything, and for example, some of my projects took years, a lot of years to get the first meaningful results. And I even failed with some projects. I invested a lot of money, resources, hired a big team, and failed, quit. I'm against never give up, because if you are not happy with any project, and I made these mistakes, I chased money, and I remember when I decided to start one project, because I got the feeling to fill the gap in the market. So we did it. We had a big team, spent 3 years, a lot of resources, but at that time I hated Monday, I love Friday, and I got it. I can't go ahead like this. So I think if you made wrong choice, that's okay. If you quit, you can find something else. Tell about patience. Can you tell how you can be patient a few years without results? Because I often see such companies who can't achieve results for a few years.
Yeah, especially I bootstrapped my company. I've built it. I had an idea and I built it from the ground up. And actually, in kind of the target audience, the goal of it has really morphed over the years. And so that's where I think definitely being patient, but we also have to earn a salary. And so figuring out how that's going to work as the company is growing. I know a lot of entrepreneurs that they start their company as a side hustle, so until they can grow it, and they're still doing this job, which is double the work. But there's different ways to do it. I think as well with patience is trying. Like I joke, I run the company by trial and error, but I think part of that is like what you were saying, is recognizing when you've made an error or a mistake or something, is like recognizing it very quickly and rectifying it as quickly as possible so that you can get back on the right path. And so while you need to be patient, I feel like you also need to react pretty quickly, or be analytical in your processes to see that this may or may not work a year or two from now. Have the KPIs in place in order to be able to make that decision, that an educated decision.
Yeah, awesome. And one more thing, I think you need to love what you do, because I
Yes.
failed with my business because I hate it. I didn't love. And 70% of people hate their jobs. It's a lot, guys. Find what you love. It doesn't matter what kind of money you can get. Forget about money. For example, I love playing basketball. I don't expect when someone will pay money for my hobby. People watch TV 6 hours a day. They don't get money. People pay money to watch TV. So if you love what you do, you can be patient, and nobody can stop you if you love it. Just go ahead step by step. And can you tell about ideas how to stand out from the rest, especially if you're talking about women? They need to compete with men who have more time, in their projects, but how they can stand out from the rest. I know from my personal experience, women are more creative, and I like that about their, I don't know, attention, less errors when I cooperate with women. I love it. So tell your tips about that.
For people looking to start companies or entrepreneurs, I one of the pieces of advice I always give is, everybody says to identify your ideal customer, right? And so most people have an idea of who they're going to sell to, but you have to take it to that next step of how are you going to sell them? How are you going to identify, like, you've got the customer, how are you going to sell to them? There's a billion websites out there. You think that popping your website up and people are going to come to it, that's not going to happen. And so where are you going to find them? How are you going to stand out from everybody else out there? And I think creativity can definitely be used for that. I started my company by going to trade shows, by conferences. And, I'd walk away with 1 or 200 leads at a time. And so that was a huge building block for me, instead of one lead at a time, or instead of sitting in my office cold calling. And so that was something I identified, but it's always something I encourage for new entrepreneurs, is really, really figure out how are you going to get those customers? That's the only way you're going to grow, and that's the only way sales are going to happen.
Yeah, awesome. And can you tell how you got a lot of leads in conferences? So you speak with everyone that you can meet there, or any other secrets?
I think part of it is that I sell custom socks, and so there's a bunch of socks everywhere in my booth. Like, I have them laid out on the table, and I have mannequin legs, and I think people walk up and they're like, "What is this?" I think curiosity is a piece of it, but a lot of it, socks are like the most popular selling apparel item. People really love them, and so I think there's an interest there by having a fun product. At conferences, I never do like the spinny wheels or the games or anything, because I want quality over quantity. I don't want to walk out with 500 names just because they wanted a free t-shirt, right? I want to walk out with 150 names of people who could actually turn into customers after I follow up with them. So also too, I just feel like standing and having a smile on your face, and going to a larger conference too. I go to conferences where there's 1 to 3,000 plus attendees, and that helps when you get the numbers right. You're going to see a lot more people, and and just have something that's interesting with your booth. A big piece of advice is not to have the table right in front of the booth. Have it off to the side so people can come in and it feels welcoming and they can have a conversation with you. So there's a lot of good tips out there for conferences and making an impression.
Nice, awesome. And I like your energy. And I have a bunch of questions about the business, but I want to ask about your energy. You mentioned that you visit gym, and can you tell other resources that can help you be energetic? Like, I can see you right now. I get this energy. I think my audience can get this energy as well. And tell how to stay energetic, positive, and have fun in your job.
Yeah. Well, and part of the reason I'm energetic is I'm excited to be here. This is a great opportunity. I really appreciate it. So, for me, really going to the gym is a huge piece of it. Getting enough sleep, eating right, all those things play into my health, and then taking some time off. Like, I specifically take, like, I didn't work yesterday at all, and I worked just a little bit on Saturday, like getting that break so that when you do come back to it, you're ready and you feel refreshed, and making sure that you build time in to get your personal things done as well, and spend time with your favorite people, whether they be your dogs or or friends or family, right? Make sure you have that time. And I feel like if you can, establish a balance, then you'll be more motivated and happier when you are having to work, because that it's time. Well, you can be happier because you were able to do those other things to take care of yourself.
Awesome. Can you tell what happiness means for you? What kind of feeling you have when you are happy?
I went on a vacation recently. I'd always wanted to go to Alaska, and so we took a cruise to
Ooh.
Alaska, and it was beautiful, and I felt pure happiness there, partly because it was just so beautiful, but also because it was just, we weren't stressed out. It was fun, right? And so I think for me, a lot of happiness has to do with fun. I like to have fun, and I think being able to control the stress level as an entrepreneur, we're under a lot of stress, and with each person I hire, it's more payroll that I'm responsible for, and adds a little more stress. And so happiness is like knowing the bills are going to be paid, knowing that I'm going to pay payroll. But no, seriously, like I think just, taking those moments for ourselves and taking a vacation and being
Awesome.
rested.
Lisa, I wanna ask about challenges. You share a lot of tips that when I can listen to you, I see that everything looks good. But I know in any business we have challenges, a lot of challenges, pitfalls. So tell your biggest challenges that you met and how you usually find strength to overcome them.
Sure. I mean, for me, the pandemic was the biggest challenge I've had to overcome in the business. I think so many people can say that, but I sell custom socks, and when nobody could leave their house because they were afraid to go outside, socks are not exactly on people's list. So thankfully, I adapted quickly and started selling customized face masks. And so that was what kept the doors open and ended up being over 30% of my sales in 2020. And it kept my doors open, kept me afloat so that when we started to come out of the pandemic, I could focus back on socks, but I still sold the masks for a few years. So that was definitely a huge challenge. I honestly think one of my biggest obstacles is coming because I think I'm going to need to explore funding in order to grow the business where I want it to be. And the current statistic in the United States, at least, is that of 100% of the funding that's granted, less than 2% goes to women-owned businesses. And so it's this huge uphill battle that I'm going to have to do. But if I want to grow my company, that needs to be a key piece of it. So I'm preparing. I'm getting ready for the next obstacle to come.
Ah, nice, nice. Yeah, I can hear your dogs. My dogs usually.
Sorry.
My dogs usually take part on my podcast, but I don't know where they're silent right now.
They're 2 rooms away, so I apologize that you heard him.
No, 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 no worries. It shows it's live conversation, so people love it. And Lisa, I wanna ask how you stand out from the rest. You have socks, but I can go to Marshall to buy socks. I can order them on Amazon, on many places. But why customers prefer your socks than just take them at any shop?
Yeah. So one of the differences is when you order on Amazon or Marshalls, you have to choose what they've already done for you. So what we do is we customize the socks specifically for our customers. Now, this is going to be a bulk order. It's not going to be a one order, but we work with corporations, with nonprofits, schools, sports, bands, really you name it. We even did socks for a rocket launch earlier this year. So we can make them for anything. And so I have a graphic designer on staff that will design the socks specifically for our customers. So that is definitely one way it's unique as we take their branding and their ideas and we create the sock for them. I think the other thing that sets us apart is our customer service, our personal touch. You don't work with bots when you work with us. You work with actual humans, and we actually care because we want to make sure our customers have a good experience. And so we're responsive and we're kind. And we want to just make sure everybody walks away with a good experience when they've worked with us. And so far, I'm going to knock on wood, we have 100% 5-star Google rating as a result of that. And so that's really, really, and we have over 100, I think 110 reviews. So it's a really important piece of something as a small business that we can compete with the big boys is we'll treat you well. And we actually, we care. We want you to have a good experience. We want your socks to be very successful for you.
Oh, nice. And yeah, love it. When you have 5-star reviews, yeah, it means a lot. And most customers check reviews. I don't remember exactly the number, like 95% of customers read reviews before buying anything. Can you tell how you can make your customers happy to buy your socks? Because even a teeny percent of customers can be unsatisfied, because of anything. I don't know, because of bad weather today. So tell why you have 5-star reviews.
Part of it, part of one of the things business owners make the mistakes of is they don't ask for the review. So part of the reason we have reviews is because we ask. And that's a really key piece of getting them. The other piece is, we really, like I said, it may sound cliche, but we really do care and we really want them to have a good experience. And that I think shows through in the interactions that we have with them. And then we also offer a quality product. So we have a lot of checks and balances in place to make sure that when they open their box of socks, it's exactly what they were expecting and they can be happy with it. We have, a lot of the times they haven't felt it and the quality's high. And so they're really, really happy, not only with the design, but the quality, they're long lasting. And if they're selling it, a lot of our customers use them as a fundraiser. And so if they're selling it, then their customers can be happy as well, and they won't get complaints.
Yeah, got it. Lisa, I see your t-shirt, I have my t-shirt, but if you're talking about socks, in most cases people hide socks because of shoes. So tell, why brands need to buy socks? Because if employees or anybody else can hide them.
Yeah, so there's 2 things. I think some people, they definitely wear them with shorts and sometimes sandals, which is, up to you if you wanna do that. But, you can definitely see them but if you are wearing long pants, we get a lot of customers that they have to dress a certain way, for their job, right? You have to wear a suit or you have to wear, your business clothing, and with having being able to ch their socks are a way to express their personality, so they can have a monkey with bananas on their socks underneath their suit, and they can have that piece of their personality as well. So we found a lot of people that's why they love socks, is because they can wear whatever they want because you can't see it, because they know, and you can just see it under a pant leg when they sit down. So we find that's a lot of the draw and the popularity. Plus, I don't know, people just really like fun socks. It's just a really easy way to brighten up an outfit or your day. It's interesting.
Yeah, got it. Can you tell about your growth? I mean, like, do you have special plans to grow, to become a big brand, big company, or you're happy with what you have? And because I spoke with a few big companies. By the way, they are small companies, but have 100 million revenue. So they can grow without having a huge team. Can you tell your plans for the future? Do you have some special plans, or it's okay what you have right now?
Yeah, no, I definitely want to grow. We are definitely in that scaling phase. And I mean, ideally, what we're finding is a great market for us is to be in brand stores of corporations. And so ideally, we want to be everybody's sock provider in every brand store in the world. And then I'm pursuing the retail route as well. If we can start to get some of our socks in some of the retail, that would really grow our company as well. So it is a goal. I just hired another staff that a year ago, it was me and a bunch of contractors, and I just hired my 4th employee this week. And so we are, I don't know where we're going to be a year from now. I have to plan. I plan like 6 months in advance based on the opportunities that come in and where I see us going. But I intend to continue to grow and hope we can grow that brand store presence.
Nice. I'm interested about marketing. Can you tell marketing methods? You mentioned about conferences, so you can visit conferences to get clients, but do you use any other marketing to get more customers?
I do. Yeah. For me, my biggest revenue generator is SEO. I started with a bad SEO firm, and so I learned a lot, actually. I mean, mistake learned the hard way, but I learned a lot and so the next one I hired was a great SEO firm. And so because of our SEO and continuing to build our keywords, we get a large majority of our revenue of people coming to us, through the website. And that's huge because they're already warm. We're not picking up the phone and cold calling, basically, like old days cold calling, right? But we're not cold emailing or reaching out. So that's a huge piece. So I highly, highly recommend investing in SEO. It's a long-term investment, not short-term, not like ads. But I'm not a fan personally. Sorry, Google, but I'm not a fan of Google ads because I feel like it's David versus Goliath. I can't pay the money to keep up with the large companies in my space. And so SEO is just a way to make sure that my website shows up underneath the sponsored and, is one of the first ones there, and try to compete that way.
Oh, awesome. You remind me my bad experience because I started my SEO with 3 bad companies, and I wasted like 2 years with them. But that was good experience to learn how it works because I got these bad reports, and I didn't understand how to learn them. So I started to learn more to understand, and then I got it. I don't need any companies, freelancers. Of course, I wasted some money, but it's expensive lesson, and at that time I didn't know how to learn it, and that was in 2008. To tell about your existing company that can help you to get this traffic, how you create this content ideas for SEO? Do you read blog posts? Any other tips how you get this traffic that convert your customers?
Yeah, at least we actually a big piece of our marketing is actually telling customer stories because it highlights our customers, which is a great thing. It shows off our work, which is a great thing, and then it gives other people ideas of like, oh, I never thought about doing a sock for this or that type of thing. And so and I think it's an important piece to just it's fun for us to brag about how our customers and share that. So that's a big piece. I think another big piece with marketing is showing up and being consistent. People should it shouldn't surprise them to see you once every 3 months. I think it's really important to establish a presence and then show up consistently. But also, when you do show up, it's not just about numbers, right? It's about quality and adding
Of course.
value. Like, what value are you adding to the person reading this or watching this? And that's something we do really, really try to do with every single post or piece of information we put out there. Is we are trying to add value to the people that are interacting with us, and not just bragging about ourselves or whatever it could be.
Great, awesome. And can you tell who write this blog post? Do you have copywriter, or you write yourself, or this team can write for you?
It's a combination of both. I have a social
Mhm.
media manager, and so she and I, there are things I write, and there are things she writes, and so yeah, we're a team.
Yeah, got it, got it. Can you tell about AI? Today it's hard to ignore this topic. I think impossible tomorrow, but that was simple to ignore. And I spoke with Jeff Coyle, co-founder of Market Muse, and he told me that in the future we will have three companies. The first company will develop AI, the second implement, and the third company will be obsolete, who can leave the trade. Can you tell your methods, how you implement AI? Do you use for writing text or for socks production?
There's not the sock production itself is a physical act, and so we're not, it's the AI doesn't really come into that piece of actually making them. Definitely use it for marketing, for writing content for sure. And I actually really like talking to Chat GPT because I'm like, do this, no, do this, make it, make it smarter, make it more entertaining. And boy, it has helped me. And what it helps too is not only is it creating something that's better than I could write, but it's creating it so quickly. Like we get so much time back. And so I've used it. I had to write a pitch that was under 60 seconds, and I knew I needed to shave off 5 seconds. So I took a paragraph that I knew could be shortened, and I plopped it in Chat GPT and said, make this more succinct. And it came back, and then my pitch was under 60 seconds. And so, we definitely are starting to implement it more and more. And and I'm going to be looking, because it's been so useful where we have implemented. I'm definitely trying to look at other places in the business where we can use it for efficiency. And I think for us, that's the next step.
Awesome. Yeah. And what about link building? Do you use link building or this company that can help you with SEO? This company, I don't know, build links for your website or not?
They do build, yeah, my SEO provider does build
Mhm.
build out web pages for me for sure. And then we load it with some keywords and more importantly, content and quality information. So yes, yeah, we constantly are building out pages and refreshing pages as well. I think it's important not to have the same things up there for 7 years. It's important to go back and revisit it and look at your keyword report and see what new ones are trending, and implement those onto your website so you'll come up sooner in searches.
Got it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, I want to ask about mistakes. In my
Okay.
life, I made a lot of mistakes. Some of them are so terrible. Some of them slight mistakes, but I keep doing them. I don't know how to go ahead without doing mistakes, because if I start something new, I learn from best practices, generic strategies, and I fail all the time. I fail. I remember when I started PR, I wrote a bunch of press releases. I pitched all of them, and I got 0 mentions, 0 results, nothing. But I learned how it works. I had experts who can write great press releases. I found the way how to pitch them, and we got mentions on CNN, Bloomberg, Dow Jones, many great websites, Forbes, because of knowing the process. Can you list mistakes that you made, but people can avoid, especially women? For example, that you can learn before making these mistakes, because some mistakes we need to do. you can't avoid, but some mistakes you can avoid. So any tips about that?
Gosh, I mean, if I could have avoided all the mistakes I made, I would have. So I'm not sure how many tips I can give. It's funny too, because my kids, like, we tell them, we tell them what to do to avoid the mistakes, but you watch it in the development of every person is you have to make the mistake yourself to learn your lesson. So unfortunately, it's just going to be a part of it, right? It's the only way we're going to learn. You have to try, especially if you're convinced that you have the right answer. You got to try, whether it ends up being a mistake. You're the only one who can figure that out. Recently, I took a chance and started a new product line. We started a subscription box last December, and the research was there for subscriptions, but what happened was the market is really saturated, and so it just never took off. And so we had to cut our losses in August, and we had subscribers, but we could see, I could forecast that it just wasn't going to grow to a spot. And so we ended up converting it into a sock shop instead, where people can now just buy one pair instead of having to do this monthly thing. And we're already seeing more success with the sock shop than we did with the subscription. So we're really optimistic with that. And so sometimes making that mistake isn't bad, because had I not made the mistake with trying the subscription, we would have never ended up with the sock shop. And now we have this e-commerce piece. So we have the wholesale custom piece, and now we have this e-commerce piece, and we're planning Black Friday deals and holiday bundles and all this really fun stuff that will be the first time we've ever offered it. So sometimes mistakes aren't bad. I try to avoid catastrophic mistakes, that cost so much money. That would be like, just try to avoid the ones that are
Yeah,
catastrophic, but the
got
little
it.
ones are okay. Or try to mitigate the damage it can do, right? Like it's a risk I'm going to take, but I'm going to cut it off at this spot and stick to that.
Yeah, I remember Mark Zuckerberg said about mistakes. If you don't do mistakes, that means you're not creative enough. So you're not innovative. Yeah. And Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Bill Gates made a lot of mistakes, but they can do like 1,000 mistakes and one great step that will lead in the right direction. So, Lisa, I want to ask about your experience. What I found, I usually get great results with customers who know what I do. So if they know why we need to create high quality content, what kind of content to create, why we need to PR, link building. So we can go ahead to get good results. But if they don't, usually tell them, learn from my course, go to Google, go to YouTube, read books, just learn, get the basic. If you have the basic, we can go ahead, we can achieve great results. I have students in my network. I have people who need to pay bills, but hate their jobs. I spoke many times. People hate jobs, but need to pay bills to feed family, kids, and they can't just leave the hating job, because of having a dream. It's hard, but it's possible. So, Lisa, let's imagine you started today from scratch without any experience, knowledge, skills. It's your first day. You didn't make one song. Just you're going to do it. So, what will you do if you started from scratch?
For what? For a business?
Yeah, for business.
What is my $1 million idea? I don't know. I when I was trying to think of a business to start, I was really trying to think of something that I love to do, like most of us. And I love sports, and I love kids, and I love dogs. And so I had all these different ideas. And honestly, this was probably my fourth or fifth idea for a business that finally when I would tell people
Nice.
about, they're like, okay, this one makes sense. Your other one with like the dogs, that didn't make a lot of sense. So I don't have any other ideas for a new company because I'm too busy with my own. Honestly, I'm sorry. I can't have a better answer with that, but I'm too busy trying to sell socks that I can't even think about anything else.
Awesome. Yeah, I read one book about that the biggest company like Walmart, Sony, Walt Disney started with mediocre ideas, nothing special, just generic ideas. So, but it's up to you to move in a new direction if you have. Don't chase great ideas. Most companies fail with great ideas, but you can start with generic idea, but make it better than your competitors and get, I don't know, almost anything. And listen, I have my final question about the future. I want to ask you, take your crystal ball and let us know what kind of future will be in socks industry and in entrepreneurial journey, because many things are coming. I don't know, augmented reality, virtual reality. So probably the world will be different that we know now. So your prediction about the future.
I definitely think more sustainable options are going to need to be out there. And my company already does make bamboo socks as a sustainable option, but I think we're going to need to find a way to reduce what our waste, right? Reduce what we buy. And that's already a huge movement with the younger generations, younger than me, to just not just go buy the $5 t-shirt. And I think socks are going to have a part in that, because you can technically only have 7 or 10 pairs of socks and do the laundry, right? And you would be fine. And so I think sustainability is going to be a huge piece. Recycling is probably going to be a huge piece. It's interesting. This year, the custom sock industry is expected to hit $60 billion. $60 billion for socks, and custom socks, not like white athletic socks, just the custom, the fun ones with pizza on it. And so I think that's going to continue to grow. And but I think becoming, eco-conscious and really bringing that sustainability in is going to be a trend that we all need to do. Reducing our carbon footprint with delivery, and all of those different things, that the packaging, all of those different things where we can make an impact.
Nice. You unhided this number. I think more people will produce socks after this podcast. This
Pretty hard.
So you will have new competitors. Lisa, it's a big pleasure to have you on my show, to learn from you. I love it. So valuable, so interesting. Tell the best way how to keep learning from you, how to reach out to you, how to follow you.
Sure. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. So I'm Lisa Riggs. I'm known as the sock queen. Never something that I thought I'd be known of, but a lot of people know me as a sock queen. So if you forget my name, you can always search that. Our website is Spirit Socks USA. Socks is SOX. And I can be reached. My email is lisa@spiritsocksusa.com. So pretty simple to reach me. But the website has inquiry forms where you can hit a button and it'll go straight into us.
Awesome. Guys, you need to follow Lisa Riggs on LinkedIn, because you can see a lot of valuable insights. If you forget, you can click the link in the description below. Please follow, because I personally follow, because I know it's important for me to learn something new. You need to follow as well. And then you can become much better entrepreneur. Okay, guys, love you. See you.